we'll go. I just showed you an example yesterday, but gave you a brief description. I mean, that is what all about, but we'll go in detail and see some things which we did not cover and try to explore more about each of them. So, for example, we saw this example yesterday, right? Hello world example. So we had app.js, we had scope variable in the controller, and we are trying to access it here. So the first thing I wanted to discuss about is Angular expressions. We saw this, right? This example yesterday.
Yeah.
So any variable is surrounded with two flare braces on either side, that becomes an expression. So AngularJS consider it as an expression and it evaluates it on the fly. On the fly in the sense, even when you change the variable after the page is rendered, even then it will change it. Okay. So now I have main controller. I have the controller value as name world, right? So I can set this variable like this. And now this expression can not only contain just variable names, right? This is a variable name. It can also contain some static strings. It's like a normal JavaScript expression, right? Any JavaScript statement that you write, you can write it here. Any JavaScript statement, you can write between this. So any in the sense like whatever expressions that we write in JavaScript. So for example, hello. See, right? So I can remove this here. I can keep it part of this expression, right? So what is the advantage of this? Now I can have another scope variable here. Let's say I want to add two scope variables and display. Salutation. Now right, so let me make it hello, right? You understood this? Inside
Yeah.
expression I can add multiple strings. I can add a normal string and a variable. I can add numbers. Let's say I have numbers. So for simplicity, we'll get back to our yesterday's discussion or this fine, right? So we'll discuss when we are coming to attributes directly. Okay? So we can have some dollar scope dot num1 is equal to 5. So now, and I can have another scope variable which is 6, and let me call it num2. And here I can have another expression which will actually, let's say I want to say that uh, there are 5 worlds. Okay, there are saw this. I concatenated a normal string, a string variable and a number variable. So it's like normal JavaScript statement, right? That we write using alert or we write something inside console.log. You can do whatever you want. Let's say I want to do some numerical operation, right? Let's say I can do here like num1 into num1 into num2, right? So see, so num1 is 5, num2 is 6, so it multiplied. I can do whatever operation like plus, right? Because starting and ending there are strings. Even though there are numbers, they're converted to strings and you're seeing it. So things like that. Okay, num1 minus num2. because between string operations we can't use subtraction. Okay, so that's all about it. And one more thing I wanted to say in expressions, there's another way of writing expressions. Instead of writing like this, I can also write another thing called as ngbind. Ngbind is another way of writing an expression. Instead of having mustaches like this, right, you can also write like this, any expression inside it. For example, I can write same thing like this. Sorry, because this has double quotes, it's cribbing. Now, see this. You got it? First line and the third line are same, right? So these are like alternative things. You can write any expression either with this or with this ngbind. Things will work. Like for example, I want to do a normal string operation. I should be able to do it. Right? So these two can be used interchangeably based on your whatever you like, right? So this is what expressions all about. You can add whatever you want, you can put whatever text you want, you can combine them, you can use interchangeably these mustaches and the ngbind. That's about expressions. So next thing we can discuss about is directives. Okay, so what are directives in Java, AngularJS? So that's one of the features that I told you yesterday when I was introducing AngularJS to you guys. So directives is something which directs your browser to render in a different style than the normal style, or to do a different functionality than normal functionality. So we saw ng app. So let me put back this into some div here. Let me put my controller here, right? And then I can put all this stuff inside it. Got it? So this is what we saw yesterday. Now, so this is, I mean, there are default directives that Angular supports, and all of them are prefixed with ng hyphen. So whenever you see any ng based attribute, you can consider it as default Angular's attributes, directives, okay? And they have their own meaning. So ng app actually bootstraps your Angular application. Bootstrap in the sense like it starts processing your Angular application and considers Angular application. So one more thing I wanted to suggest yesterday, like I was telling you, we can use multiple controllers, right? Yesterday, inside an app, we can use multiple controllers. And also told that we can use multiple apps also in the same page. Like for example, we can have multiple apps like this, right? But the second app will not render. Okay, second app will not render. Although, I mean, let's give a different name for an instance. But then you see that when we try to have multiple apps in the same page, only the first app gets executed, not the second app. Okay, why is it? Because whenever Angular tries to bootstrap your application when it's rendering in the browser, you can use multiple apps in your application, but it picks only the first ng app that it encounters. While interpreting from top to bottom, whichever ng app it first encounters, it considers that's the only Angular application and it bootstraps it. It is not concerned about other things. But if you want to do it manually, generally it's suggested to use one app in a web page in one single HTML file. But if you come across a case where you have to use multiple apps, you can manually bootstrap your Angular application using Angular. Angular is a default keyword in Angular, right, that we discussed yesterday. You can say angular.bootstrap and you can tell which element you want and what is the module that you want to assign to it, right? By that you can actually Probably we can try it here. I don't remember the syntax exactly, but let's try. Angular dot bootstrap. I need to create something which is very similar. Again, Plunker 1 and main controller 1. Right. So there's something wrong with this, I guess. Sorry, I don't remember the exact syntax. Okay, you have to use this get element by ID. Sorry. So I was trying to do it in Angular jQuery way, but you have to do it in normal document dot get element by ID test. Right? Got it? So I use a different app and a different controller, but it still works. Because, for example, I can change the values here. So now in index.html you'll see this. So let's say I replace this. I kept it in the top before my first app. You'll see that the first app will render, but the second app will not render. Although I define both of them, both the apps are defined, only the first app will be rendered, not the second app, right? That's about ng app directive. So one caution about ng app directive that we need to know is this: like it's better not to use multiple things. So, but if at all you come across this, you have to manually bootstrap it. So this method angular.bootstrap will automatically happen in the process. Okay, that's by default. Okay, it gets the element which has ng app and then it bootstrap that. The browser does it in AngularJS by default, right? So this is about ng app. Second thing, ng controller we already saw. There are many other directives by default which are available, but ng app and ng controller and ng bind we saw, right? That's another controller where we can bind stuff, right? There's another thing called ng init where yeah, it's like it will be called during installation. So generally we use ng init for initializing some variables, global variable. Let's say you want to set some variables for ng app. You can use this ng init. Let's say I want to set my max count, something, some random variable is equal to 100. I can set like this, or I can say customer name is equal to Vishwanath, right? I can set all these variables. So we'll see if they're set or not. Now let me remove this stuff for now and let me try to do this. Customer name max count. Got it? So I don't have to define in the controller for some reasons, but it's always recommended to use controller instead of initializing it because it's easy to maintain and stuff like that. Okay. So, but But when you use init, you don't need ng app. So we can build an application with ng app also, just ng app, without defining any app in my controller. I mean, any app, any module called app, any controller called control. If you just want some variables just to try out, you can actually even do like this. You can have empty ng app, but still it bootstrap. It will be bootstrap. And if you want some variables, you can do it in ng init, and you can use them directly here, right? So this will work, and this can have any values, not only numbers and string. It can have users. Okay, let's try with okay, users can be an object. How do we create an object in JavaScript?
Object key, no, sorry, I mean like pairs.
Yeah, key value pairs.
Yeah.
But what is the syntax for creating? Let's say I want to create an object with some first name and last name, or let's say student details. How do I create it?
In the flower braces will.
Yes. Good. So inside flower braces, I say name colon comma profession, say software. Okay, so I can do that. And in expressions, one more thing we need to notice, we can actually not only refer these things, we can also refer objects. Okay, how do we refer objects? Like we know we have users, right? Users dot name, users dot profession, right?
Yeah.
Got it? So if we have objects, this can be, now I declared it in init, I can set that variable even in the controller, right? In the controller I can say scope dot users is equal to an object. Even then that will work. So you just need to, the point is when you are using objects, you have to use object name dot the key name. Then you'll get the value, not just directly the key name. So it's like wherever your variable, you go, you traverse entire way. And for example, we can also have arrays. So how do we create arrays? Guys, how do we create arrays in JavaScript?
Normally
What?
users
to, I want an array of some names. How do I do that?
Names.
Okay, let's say users.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then to block braces.
Okay.
Is equal to we'll enter the value in the flower braces.
Users like this?
Yep.
No. Subhash, any idea?
Other braces.
Which one? Which braces? This one?
Yeah.
For an array?
We'll be using flower braces.
No. We use square braces. Okay. We have to define like this. Array, any language you take array is always square braces in any language. Okay. It will never change in any language generally, until unless someone is crazy. So generally any language, we generally, oh, I don't need this, right? So like we did for objects, flare braces, key value pairs, array is always square braces. Inside it you just keep values, it will be initialized automatically in JavaScript. In other language you define the way you told me, users square braces is equal to something else. That's in Java or C or something like that. But in JavaScript, you don't need anything like that. You can directly say, and the array length is infinite. You can put as many things you want into an array, right? So now I can use that as well in expressions. Like, let me try this. Users of 1. Right? See, I'm getting the first user. 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 0, 1, 2. So first index string is getting here, right?
Yeah.
So now we can have nested also. We can have nested array and object also. Let me show you that. Right? I have an object and I surrounded it with square braces, which means that I can have multiple
Objects.
right? I can say Subhash, I can say it as, let's say, student, right? Now I can refer it as, how can I refer an array? Users of 1, users of 2, right? Now users of 1 will have an object which is, sorry, users of 1 dot profession, right? Now users of 1 will actually give me an object because we are having objects inside an array called users, and on top of it I want a variable called name, so I say dot name dot profession, right?
Yeah.
This is one sort of one way of using expressions. So we can inside this ngInit we can define anything that you want, objects, arrays, anything, and retrieving it also is like this, right? Now on top of it there is something called, let's say, another directive which is called as ngRepeat. Okay, so this is generally used, I told you last time, right? For example, if you have multiple things, what we do is we, like the LIs or anything like that for to-do app, let's say by default you saved something in local storage. Next time you reload your page, we should show all the things near DOM, right? Let's say I have 4 to-do tasks. I'll show all those 4 to-do tasks on load because I already have it. Now, generally how do we do it? We get all those values in an array and we loop it and create an LI element for each of them, right? And insert it into DOM. So that is where we are combining JavaScript and HTML. Like we are creating DOM and we are inserting. To insert DOM, we need to get an element and say dot append to or anything like that, right? Which is like you're combining controller and view. But in AngularJS, we should not do that. So how do we resolve it? So AngularJS provided a way called ngRepeat. So it's a directive called ngRepeat, wherein you can put, we can use, it's like for loop only. ngRepeat is like for loop, but you should say on which variable we want to do it, on users, right? Correct? I want my users is an array. I want to display all the usernames here and their professions, right? So what I'll do, I'll do it on users, but I want to do it for every user. So I'll say ngRepeat for every user in users. Got it?
Yeah.
But that was because of first one. Now if you see, both of them are coming as same names. Why? Because I have 2 entries in my users, right? My array has two objects. So this ngRepeat tag, I can use this ngRepeat tag. This ngRepeat is an attribute for your information. So wherever I use this, the content inside it will be looped for those many times, array length times. So array length is 2. So this content is looped through that many times and it will be rendered. Now because inside the loop I'm always saying users of 1, irrespective of how many times the loop returns, it will always show me second result only. So to get all users results, what I should do? User dot and user dot. Right? Now if you see, I did not do any for loop or nothing here. I just said ngRepeat for every user in users. users is an array for every user, which means that, I mean, you have to read it like that. When you say in X user in users, that means that for every user in users. It's like for each loop. You remember for each loop, right?
Yeah.
For each of users, what it will do, it will loop through each entry of that array and call a function for each entry. It's very similar. It loops through the entire content for every user, for every entry in a array. So the shortcut for that is for in user in users. Users is a variable. You can use whatever variable you want here, but this should be the array that you are referring to. So when you are referring variable to X, it will still work because it's like temporary variable where I in, we use where I is equal to 0, right? Something like that. It's a temporary loop variable for every X in users. That means for every entry in users. So for easy understanding, we'll generally say it like this: for user in users. Users is an array, right? So we'll say that for every user in an array, get the username and get the user profession, right?
Okay.
Got it? So this is another attribute, this is another directive which is called ng repeat, right? So these are some of the default directives that we use in AngularJS mostly. There can be many other things, but these are the mostly used Angular directives. And these are default directives that are provided by AngularJS. Now, on top of it, you can create your own directives, custom directives that I was telling you last time, right? Student information, I can do it, right? So for example, uh, let's say I want to create my own directive called, let's say, generally when we want to type an information, let's say I want to show a header. What will I do? I'll say, or let me say, let's say I want to create a form, right? How will I create a form? I'll create like this, right? Login, sorry, input, username, right? Let's say I just have username and password for now, something like this. Now I desire, I thought, let's say it's just a login form. Let me have a submit button also. Button, submit. So this is my login, right? So I
Yeah.
decided, why should I write it every time? I'll create my own directive. I'll just say login, and I should be able to get this, because if I create something like that, everybody can directly say login and it will create you a username, password and a submit form, right? That's more reasonable. That's what we do in coding, right? So that can be achieved. How can we achieve this? We don't have, by default, we don't have anything called as login. That's the reason you don't see any output in the browser, because browser doesn't know what login is. But AngularJS provides you a facility wherein you can create your own custom directives. That is by, so we have app module, right? So now my module is app. Now on top of it, I can say directive, sorry, app.directive. Directive is also like controller. It can take, what controller does, it takes a controller name and a function, right? Similarly, directive also takes the directive name. I can say login, comma, a function, which will actually do whatever inside and returns and creates a directive for you. The very easy way of creating directive is return. So the function should return something, right? So the function returns an object. The directive function should always return an object with some parameters, something like template. So template can be a string, like let's say input. template. Is this what did happen? I did not mention this, right? So my name is Plankar. So let's get back to our normal mode of using ng app. Plankar, and I'll say it's main controller. I don't have to. Is this correct? Controller?
Yeah.
I think it's not controller.
It's controller. It's
It's CTRL, I guess. Controller only, right?
yeah. It's
Controller is equal to main controller. But why is it cribbing? Oh, we do not have anything based on controller, right? Let me remove this stuff. Something went wrong here. Okay, let's do it here. We'll figure out what went wrong later. So now I can get my directive here. Is it because of this it's cribbing? Interesting. So because of one semicolon, extra semicolon, it was cribbing actually. If you see now, let me remove this form for you. Let me get back to a normal way. Okay. So now see, now it's rendering properly. I have a form, and let me use a login also. ng app Plankar. Right? You see this? I'll remove this for your for not confusing you. Now, if you see, my login tag actually rendered an input field, which is generally not happen, right? So my template, I can now build it as username colon something and break, and I can say password something, an input field, br, and a button. Right? See here, once you write this, now I just use login and automatically I got my so now I can use this tag n number of times. I'll get n number of login pages.
Login.
Right? That is
Yeah.
power of AngularJS. This is how you can create directives. Now, you guys can actually build this. You can start slowly navigating your application. Try to parallelly build an AngularJS application, and slowly, as and when, you can actually have this a tag at. Something like this. You can have something like this, which is called as to-do app. Just by having a to-do app tag in your web page, you should be able to render your to-do app there, right?
Okay.
Just to, finally we'll end up doing there, but just giving you a heads up. So now you can actually use directive in multiple ways. I create a directive called login, right? I can also say login. See, saw the difference? Earlier I used a tag called login. Now I told you directives can be of 4 types. One can be tag name, another can be attribute name, because my attribute doesn't take any values. Just by giving login it works. You can also say attribute login is equal to something. That's fine. And or you can use a class name. CLAS is class and say login. It doesn't work. Generally it should work, but maybe it's restricted. So we can restrict actually. So we can restrict when we are creating this, we can actually restrict and say, if I can say like this. Okay. So now if I say login, come on. Login, you'll see nothing happens. But when I say login like this, you'll see it, because I'm restricting this only for elements. If I restrict only for attributes, you'll see the first thing is rendering, second thing is not rendering. For example, remove this. You'll see that. But remove this, you'll not see anything, because I'm restricting it only for attributes, right? So, but if I don't say anything, if I don't restrict for anything, everything will work, right?
Okay.
So generally we use mostly either attribute or tag name. Class and comments we generally don't use. Okay.
Okay.
Example, most of the third-party libraries work like this. Say, let's say you want to create a custom to-do app directive, and if you are not able to export it outside, people can't use it, right? So what you can do is you can create entire project like this and put it in an AngularJS what do you say, in a JS file, and export it outside. And the guys, whoever want to use it, they'll include the JS file here,
Okay. Okay.
right? Then they'll get the power of that particular stuff. And there is,
Okay.
I'm just giving you an idea, but point is you can export your directives. So how do we import those modules is, so now my module name is, I can create my module called as to-do module, right? And I have my to-do controller, I have a to-do directive and all. Now once entire thing is done, what I'll do here is, when I'm creating my, this is an application which consumes your product. While creating a module called Plunker, I have to mention the dependent modules, to-do module, right? This array is for that. It will take up all the what do you say, dependent modules which are third-party libraries that you include in the top of your head file. Just including will not do anything. After including, you should also mention that module name here. Module name is this one, right? You should mention that module name here. Then, sorry, here. Then the power, you'll get the power. This application will get the power of using to-do app. Then you can directly say to-do, that will render. Got it?
Okay. Whatever directives we
Declared there. Yeah. So you can have your own documentation page of your library, your directive, and say that, see, my directive is like that, it will work like this. You can use the tag name called to do, and it will render a to do application there. And if you want to give some configuration options, You can also give configuration options. We can dive more into directives probably in the next class, right? I mean, we can pass some attributes, we can pass whatever we want, we can assign a controller to a directive, so many things. But directive is one of the complex thing, and most of the people use directives when they are building AngularJS application. So it's important thing to note, right?
Okay.